And here, before we start Equality 2014, I want to turn things over to Reverend Phil Snyder out of Springfield, Missouri. You may remember the Reverend for his remarks before the City Council in Springfield that went viral over YouTube.
It is a great honor to be here today. I'm so glad to be here with several friends from my church, also with different people of faith around the state, and also my friends who don't claim religious faith. We are drawn to unconditional love, religious and non-religious alike, and it is that unconditional love that we try to express in our religious language. Sometimes we get that right, sometimes we don't. But when we think about what holds us together, what unifies us, it is that unconditional love that makes it plain on our lives. At this time, I invite you to join me in a word of prayer. If you are not religious, I invite you to reflect on that unconditional love that is such a part of our life that we strive for and that we long for. Gracious God, we have names for you that vary by tradition, but they draw us toward love, compassion, justice, and peace. We gather in this place this morning, holding close to our hearts the reminder that in your eyes all are made equal, with dignity. And we are simply asking that all would be treated equal, with dignity in the eyes of the law. We thank you for each person who is gathered here, expressing their hope and desire and longing for unconditional love to be a reality in our lives and in our laws, here and now. These things we pray in the name of love that transcends all boundaries. Amen.
Thank you. Just a couple of quick notes in regards to our lobby day this year. We have a number of legislators who will be here to speak with you. And one of the interesting things about lobby day is you never know exactly what's going on in the building on any given day. Today, the House is actually not going to be going into session until 2 p.m. due to the death of a former legislator back in Jefferson County, and a number of folks are out attending those funerals. The other day, I had a chance to speak with Arlene Zaremka, one of the original founders of PrEP, the predecessor to Promo. And you may also recognize her name because she and Zulema, her partner, her spouse, I'm sorry, are two of the plaintiffs to the lawsuit filed last week on marriage. In originally founding the organization over almost 30 years ago, their first lobby day down here at the Capitol included a visit to then Senator Wayne Good. At that time, he was not necessarily a strong ally for us. He indicated in that first meeting that he knew gays and lesbians, but he could never foresee a day where you had this body in the House or the Senate supporting LGBT issues. Fast forward to last fall, and former Senator Wayne Good, who was a board of curator for the University of Missouri system, was one of the key individuals that helped secure and make sure the University of Missouri system remains competitive in hiring qualified individuals by extending same-sex domestic partner benefits. He was a critical vote in that issue. You never know when or how we're going to make an ally. Today, I want you to keep that story in mind. That initial visit wasn't comfortable, yet over time, he grew to know many members of the community. I have only two asks of you today. The first is that you take a moment and peek into the House gallery, located on the third floor over on this side. That gallery contains murals by Thomas Benton. Those murals depict a history of Missouri. Not necessarily a clean, whitewashed history, but a history that is real, tangible, and unforgiving of the difficult times this state has faced. Today, my second request is that you tell your personal stories. It's vital to the very same history depicted in those murals. Future generations will have you and your efforts today to thank for the progress that we have made. We are nearing major victories, but we cannot complete the mission without you and your stories. Thank you for being here today and sharing your story. I now have the honor to introduce Secretary of State Jason Kander, who would like to speak to the group.
Well, first I want to thank all of you for allowing me to be a small part of what I know will be another very successful Equality Day, here at the Capitol. And I especially want to thank AJ and I want to thank Promo for all of the outstanding work that this organization does, not only to organize this event, but also to, frankly, help all Missourians, all across the state. They've been doing that, you've been doing that for a long time. I am really proud to stand with you today as you bring the fight for equality to the halls of this Capitol. I want you to know that it makes a difference. I am a former state representative and I am currently a statewide office holder, and I can tell you, believe me, it makes a difference when you tell your personal story. When I arrived here as a brand new state rep in 2009, this was an issue, the issue of equality, that really had not, I would say, advanced to the level that it has now. I was one of the very few vocal proponents of equality in this state when I got here in 2009, and I can tell you that the proponents of discrimination were always very eager to hold votes at that time, because they felt like they had, I don't know if it was polling or what it was, but they had something that told them that it was a good way to run up the political scoreboard on people like me if they would hold these votes all the time. Now, fast forward to today. It's February of 2014, and guess what? Now we're the ones who want to have a vote on something, and they're the ones who are resisting. Do you know why? Because we're winning, and they know it. We're winning because of you, and because of the countless others who have stood up and told their story to their neighbors and their friends and their colleagues and their co-workers and their legislators. And now, if we keep pushing, we are going to have the opportunity to finally pass the Missouri Non-Discrimination Act. We're winning because so many of you have brought us to this moment. So if we keep pushing now, we will get the change that we want. So all I wanted to tell you is that we can do this. We're already winning, so let's get back to work. Thanks so much.
And time is of the essence. I'm going to turn right over to Senator Jolie Justice.
It seems like these 8 years have gone way too fast. It is my favorite day of the year. Do you know why? Because this is the day when everyone comes by my office and say, hey, doesn't your gay army show up at like 10:30 this morning? And I say, yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because of the incredibly hard work that every one of you have done over the past decade, we are almost across the finish line. We are at a point in our history where we are going to make sure that Missouri is equal for every single one of its citizens. So thank you so much for the incredible hard work that you've been doing. I promise you that we're going to get this done, and you're going to be excited to go out to all of the East Coast and the West Coast and talk to your friends overseas and say, yeah, I live in Missouri, that's where we have equality. So thank you for what you do. Keep doing the good work, everybody.
And next up we have Representative Mike Colonna.
Yeah, I know Senator Justice is from the upper chamber, but the lower chamber of the House, that's where we slug it out. A couple of quick things. You know, it's really kind of neat for me to come here and take a look around. And it used to be when I first got elected, I knew nobody. But now I look around here, you know, I see my interns, I see business acquaintances, I see constituents, I see friends, and it's really, really neat to see you guys year after year after year come down and remind people that we're not second-class citizens. I want to share a quick story with you. I had a continuing legal education seminar over the weekend, where one of the topics we talked about was strategies in a post-Roma world. How do we move forward? How do we try and reach levels of equality? One method is doing exactly what you're doing. Going to meet people and educating them, being part of a statewide organization that can coordinate and move things forward. Certain levels of activism, you already all know that. But I think the most powerful tool that we can use to keep moving forward is simply coming out and talking to people. And I'll give you just one quick war story. Around the Capitol, we like to joke, and we like to say that, our Republican friends don't care or understand what's going on. And the reality is, they do. There are as many people in the Democratic Party as there are in the Republican Party who are truly ignorant, and in a true sense of the term, ignorant, just not knowing any better, of the LGBT community and who we are. We had a bill come up the other day where a colleague of mine wanted us to stop discriminating against dogs. So it's not fair that in the city of St. Louis we have an ordinance against pit bulls. We shouldn't discriminate against dogs. So in committee, a Republican friend of mine from outstate Missouri, that's great. I don't mind helping you stopping discrimination against dogs. But have a little bit of love for me. I'm treated like a second-class citizen. I can be fired just because of my sexual orientation. Is that really right? In an open committee, he goes, Mike, no, that's not right. I completely agree with you. And the next day, he sought out the sponsor of the Mona bill and signed up as a co-sponsor. So, you know what? That's not being an activist waving a flag. That's not sending emails. That's just being out and talking to people and friends. So as you're roaming around the Capitol today, please remember, you do have many allies here. We do have some enemies, but we also have a lot of folks who just need to be educated on the topic. They're kind of indifferent because they've never been presented with the issue before. So I want to thank you for letting me have a few moments to say hello to you today. Thank you to AJ for letting me speak. And I want to tell you, we have some good friends over there who are from the other side of the aisle, and some friends of mine from Kansas City. Please be as kind to them as you have been to me, and good luck today.
I would urge you one slight edit to Representative Colombo's statement, that I don't believe that we have enemies in this building. I believe that we have people that just don't realize there are allies yet. I want to make sure that I introduce and bring over Representative Ann Zare, who represents St. Charles County and is one of our strong Republican supporters.
Thanks, everybody. It's great to be here, and it's wonderful to see you all. I guess we were just talking over in the, here's Jeanette. We were talking over in the corner a minute ago, and here's from a Republican perspective. Since when is it a Republican idea that we should have government in our bedroom? Right? So on that mark, Democrats and Republicans alike should be supporting anti-discrimination. And that's where I'm coming from. Okay, that's from a public policy perspective. But as human beings, everybody has a right to be who they are, and they have a right to love whoever they want to love. And I'm going to carry that forever. You've got a great advocate here. He has carried this anti-discrimination bill farther than anybody else has. So you owe him a lot, we owe him a lot. God bless you all, and thank you very much.
From Columbia, we have Representative Stephen Weber, who's carried the non-discrimination bill every year, nearly every year since it's been in the chamber.
My name is Steve Weber. I represent Columbia. We have Columbia folks here today. We've had a pretty good couple of weeks in Columbia. So as AJ was saying, I've carried the Missouri Non-Discrimination Act for the last 5 years. And about a week ago, I was for some of the momentum that equality issues have had in the last couple of weeks. And I thought about that. I said, well, yeah, certainly we're trying to build on any momentum we have. But if you think about the last couple of years, every couple of weeks for the last few years, we've had a tremendous victory. At any point in the last couple of years, you could say, are you trying to build on the momentum of the last couple of weeks? And it would be a true statement, because all over the country, time and time again, we're seeing progress, we're seeing victories, we're seeing results. I think it's time that we add Missouri to that list of nationwide successes. You can go ahead and clap that time, too. Supposed to be excited, proud of. I do want to give a shout out. I know Representative Zaire mentioned, I've been working with Promo on this bill for the last 6 years, and Promo does an outstanding job for you in the Capitol. They do an outstanding job. Every single year, we get more people to sign on to the bill than we did the year before. Every single year, we add allies to the bill. And that's how we're going to ultimately win. Everybody knows ultimately equality is going to prevail. The question is, how much pain is inflicted until we get to that victory? And with your work today, the work coming down to the Capitol, the work that Promo does, the work that we all do together, we're getting closer every single time until we're ultimately successful. Thank you very much for coming, adding your voice, and helping us bring that day sooner rather than later. Thank you.
I want to welcome another strong Republican supporter, Representative Kevin Engler.
Good morning and welcome. This is a long battle. This is not a sprint. This is not a 440, it's a marathon. So I would encourage you today, I'm assuming you're going to send them out to talk to the representatives and the senators. I've been on both sides of the building. I've been a senator, been a representative. On the discrimination, ask especially the right-wingers, because I am a conservative, I would say conservative Republican. Ask them where, because most of these people are very religious, where in the New Testament does Jesus say you should persecute people? Where does, you give many examples of him dining with all kinds of people that these people wouldn't consider the upstanding, fine members of the community, people they might not agree with politically or their lifestyle. But Jesus died with them. He spends time with them. He wants to be with them. He never says persecute people. Fire them for just cause. Fire them and don't let them get unemployment insurance because it was for just cause. If you're going to be a right-wing conservative and you're going to be religiously based, tell me where it says we should fire people for just cause, where we should persecute. Tell me those passages. They won't be able to do that. All you're trying to do is convince people that you're not asking for anything that Jesus wouldn't do. It's a powerful message to these people. Don't go in confrontation. Go in saying, all I ask you to do is listen. Do you really feel that somebody should be fired because they say they're gay or lesbian? Is that the way you truly feel? If your child was, would you want them to be subject to be fired and not have any way to get unemployment insurance or anything else because it was for just cause? What you should be asking for is justice, not just cause. Talk with the people. Do it with the sense, as AJ does, of he knows we don't agree on everything. But it's not confrontational. It's not in your face. It's not, by God, you're wrong, and I'm going to show you how. Show them how they're wrong because of the character of your argument and the character of your people. it will turn people. As they said, we've got more, Ann said, we've got more people signed on to the bill this year than ever before. It actually passed through the Senate last year on the last day. We've got to get some more people on board. We're trying to work with a couple bills that includes, typically the way it's done up here, it's not just one issue. It's several issues that combines on a bill that gets to go forward, where there's some give and take. And that's what we're trying to also do, is approach in another manner that we can do it in a manner that we can get it done. So I thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Hope to see you in the hallways.
Since the Senate is still in session, I want to make sure I welcome Senator Scott Sifton.
Well, it's an honor and pleasure to follow Representative and former Senator Engler up here. It is nice to have bipartisan participation in this. You know, I had the pleasure, and I could talk all day about this in the Senate. Sometimes it's my job to talk all day, but I won't keep you that long. Last year, I had the pleasure of talking to this group, and I had a sense that 2013 was going to be a pretty special year. And in late June, I learned that I was right. It's been last year was a big year for equality. This is a terribly important time. And I think we now have the policy window open in Missouri to make some important advancements, including on tax policy, including on non-discrimination, including on bullying. I actually just was up in the side gallery, heard from a private school person in my district who was telling me that he wanted to do anything he could do to help with the bullying legislation that I've advanced this year. Let me tell you my personal story. I grew up knowing my uncle and his partner were gay. They've been together for 40 years. In many ways, my uncle and his partner are the most stable, long-lasting relationship that I have ever known in my life personally, and I'm quite serious about that. But if you stop and think about it, they live in a state where they pay higher taxes because they are not able to enjoy some of the same equal protection that those of us who are straight can through legal unions. And that's a big deal to a lot of people. Ironically enough, my uncle, I'm a Democrat, my uncle's a Republican. Whenever I come to visit, they make me watch Fox News, which isn't necessarily always my first choice, but that's okay. We love them. They've been there for our family through thick and thin, and I am terribly proud of who they are, what they do, and the example they've set for me and for my children. As an adult, I learned my own father is a member of the LGBT community as well. Now lives with his partner in Roanoke, Virginia. And I say that just so you know that I'm not just some progressive politician up here posturing. It is terribly important to me and to the people that I love that we do everything that we can to achieve full equality for all Missourians and all Americans. Just saying that it means a great deal to me and to the people that I've known my entire life. Let me just finish with the takeaway that I think we need to keep in mind with the national story we had in our state last week with Michael Sam, the University of Missouri defensive end who came out and advanced the NFL draft. And we could talk about equality as a matter of constitutional law and as a matter of human decency. But the point that Michael Sam makes that's so important for non-discrimination is competition. And there's no more direct representation of competition than, for heaven's sakes, he plays on a football field. It is a competition. And the point is, the University of Missouri football team was one game away from the national title game this year. Michael Sam was a big part of that. Co-SEC Defensive Player of the Year, 19 tackles for a loss, 11.5 sacks. And the point is, if they didn't have him on that field, if he had come out to his locker room and the reaction had been different, if he had been rejected or excluded or dismissed, Mizzou would not have been as good on the football field this year. They might not have been one win away from the national title game. They certainly would have had fewer tackles for losses and fewer sacks. And the point is, Mizzou was better competing on the gridiron this year because they had Michael Sam on their team. And that is a metaphor for every walk of life in our state. We compete better when all Missourians are included, when no Missourian, whether it's on the basis of gender, age, ethnicity, religion, or orientation, can work and have the same protections that everybody else does. We need everybody to compete. We are in a global competition economically. We are competing with our neighboring states. Missouri has more neighboring states than any other state, but maybe Tennessee. Competition matters. Michael Sam made Missouri more competitive. Every other member of our LGBTQ community does as well, and it is time that we protect them from discrimination in the workplace. Thank you.
And in the effort to try to quickly, if I can have the last three representatives, Representative Noel Torpey, another one of our strong Republican supporters, Representative Randy Dunn, and Representative Judy Morgan, if you can all just quickly come over and let's give them all a quick. We've got to get to logistics. We've got appointments at 11 o'clock. So we can have Kyle go over. He's going to run through some logistics with you here real quick. Thank you.
All right, guys, now's the time to start speaking to these people. Really quick, there's a lot of great information in your folders. Please take some time to look at it. All the legislator listings are in there. The House bill and the Senate bills of both the Missouri Non-Discrimination Act and the State School Act are listed in there. Lunch places, things to do around the Capitol, stuff like that. So please take your time to look at that. Many of you actually have appointments already scheduled for 11 a.m. And so will the individuals with the orange signs please hold up your orange sign so your group teams can get together with each other, and that way you guys can start going to your legislators that you've been scheduled for. If you do not have a meeting right away, Promo will be headquartered in the third floor house, over there, House Alcove. But anyways, guys, get ready, have fun today. This is a fun thing. Not many people can say they went to the state capitol and speak to their legislators. Enjoy yourselves, and we will see you around.